Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Atlantis, part of the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet. I'm Captain Jeff, your quarantine captain. I'm here with Captain Stewart.
Morning, guys.
And we are getting underway for another of our virtual whale and dolphin watch trips here. I believe this is our 6th that we're going to be doing. And we're very happy to have you all with us today. I'd like to give a special shout out to Myron L. Powell School. Thanks for tuning in. And for any of our other schools here in New Jersey that have the opportunity to tune in with us today, happy to have you aboard, and hopefully we can have you aboard in the future on either another virtual trip or a real trip as things start to open up here in the state of New Jersey. But in the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise. We are just getting underway. We are here in Cape May Harbor. See, we have a few folks tuning in from Myron L. Powell School. You're now cruising on Cape May Harbor. The entire harbor, it's man-made, constructed between the years 1900 and 1908. It was dredged out from over 500 acres of salt marsh, the spoils of which were used to backfill East Cape May. Henry Hudson, searching for a new route to China, discovered Cape May back in the year 1609. The area was not named until the 1620s, when Captain Cornelius Jobson May gave the name Cape May. The Lenni Lenape, the Ketchumee, and the Tuckahoe Indians, they had already settled here. Farming and land ownership were the area's earliest economic foundations. A whaling settlement that had been established in the 1670s had largely died out by the 1700s. As early as 1766, Cape May was advertising as a seaside summer resort. Its popularity peaked in the 1800s, when it became known as the Queen of the Seaside Summer Resorts. Tourism and fishing have remained Cape May's major economies ever since. Once again, if you're just joining us here, you're on the 6th edition of the virtual whale and dolphin watch with the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet, located in Cape May, New Jersey. We're just getting underway aboard the 125-foot-long Atlantis, our 300-passenger, high-speed whale and dolphin watching vessel. And aboard today, we have myself, and we have Captain Stewart at the helm, and Chief Engineer Scott down in the engine room. We got an Osprey on day marker 14 here. I know we have a few students tuning in with us today, and we're happy to have you aboard. I believe quite a few from Myron L. Powell. Thanks for coming out with us this morning. Got a beautiful day here on Cape May Harbor. Happy to have Myron L. Powell aboard for their virtual field trip today. White building with the gray roof off to our right here, that's the Corinthian Yacht Club. It's our local sailing organization here in Cape May. It's one of the oldest yacht clubs in the United States. Got a little breeze out here on the harbor today. Less than the other day. Still a breeze. base and training center. It's the only training center in the United States for the Coast Guard. So if somebody you know joins up with the Coast Guard from anywhere in the U.S., they are coming to Cape May, New Jersey for their 8 weeks of basic training as a new recruit. They process 3,000 to 5,000 new recruits each year. Now, the largest vessels on the end of the wharf here, like the Roland Fritsch, the Lawrence Lawson, these are 155-foot medium endurance offshore Coast Guard cutters. They're part of a brand new class of cutter here in the United States Coast Guard. These vessels and others like them, including the Angela McShann up ahead of the Lawrence Lawson there. These are used for search and rescue and fisheries management. 155 feet in length, capable of speeds of up to 28 knots. As I'm watching here, it looks like we have a few more students from Myron L. Powell tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. We're happy to have you aboard for a virtual field trip today. Hoping we have a few students from lower township schools aboard today, Middle Township, Upper Township, and all around New Jersey. The more the merrier. Happy to see you tuning in there, Mark. Mark's a member of the Cape May Whale Watcher crew. If you have a moment, anyone who tunes in today, if you're wondering what the crew's been up to, I know there's been a few questions about what the crew's been up to and if we're checking in with them. We try to check in with the crew as often as possible. And there's a video on the Facebook page and also our Instagram page showing that the whole crew is patiently awaiting to get back out on the water, just like all of our patrons. So we all want to get going here. We got more osprey here back behind us. There you go, day marker 7. Large bridge off to our left. That's the 2-mile bridge. This bridge connects Cape May with Wildwood Crest via Ocean Drive, and it's $1.50 to go over. Section of land on our right here. This is known as Sewell's Point. It was named Sewell's Point when William J. Sewell built his fish house restaurant here back in 1868. He actually had a horse-drawn trolley line that connected Sewell's Point with downtown Cape May. have now entered Cape May's inlet, Cold Spring Inlet. The entire inlet, it's man-made, constructed between the years 1900 and 1908. It was dredged out from over 500 acres of salt marsh, the spoils of which were used to backfill East Cape May. I see Leanne Stewart has tuned in. I hope Lily and Jeffrey are watching. From down in Lower Township, happy to have you aboard. Can't wait to get you guys back out here. Once again, if you are just tuning in, we are getting underway on our virtual whale and dolphin watch with the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet. And currently it's myself, Captain Jeff, and Captain Stewart at the helm, and we are heading out Cape May Inlet. If anyone has any questions as we cruise, feel free to ask questions throughout the trip here. I do my best to answer as many questions in the comments section as possible while we're underway. Please understand that I can't get to you all, and I do my best to answer them post-trip. We are live right now. This is live footage, and I do my best to answer them while we're underway, but anything I don't get to while we're underway, I will be answering those questions after the trip. Cape May off to our right here, just coming up on the beachfront here. Now if you look over on your left, you'll notice this is the island of Wildwood over here. So left side, we're in the middle of the beach here. Right side, the beach is back behind us. Now when these two long rock jetties at 4,800 feet were constructed here over 100 years ago, the two beaches were actually dead level with each other. You'll notice they're not anymore. So what's happened here, folks? Well, sand has a natural progression to move from north to south. So over the years, all the sand piled up over on the Wildwood side as it's trying to go south. Cape May, on the other hand, suffered massive beach erosion because the sand is blocked by these immense stone jetties. The federal government accepting responsibility for this catastrophe in Cape May, they've allotted over $50 million for beach replenishment in Cape May over the next 50 years. As we're heading out through the inlet, please remember if you're standing up, you should be holding on, even if you're in your living room. Pretty nice day though here, folks, even for me. Hi there, Arthur. It is a good day. Yes, we're out on board the 125-foot Atlantis, part of the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet. I think Whitney had asked, how long are the jetties? The jetties are 4,800 feet in length. And we are officially on marine mammal search. Keep your eyes peeled. The way we like to start off our whale and dolphin watching trips is looking for dolphins. First, we are looking for bottlenose dolphins. They can grow to be 7 to 10 feet in length, weigh up to 700 pounds. They are gray in color. They are marine mammals. They have to surface to breathe air. They breathe air just like we do. You spot them, point them out to us. You can put it right in the comments. Tell me where to look here. I believe we just had some go down right as we're coming out the inlet. Left side, going to the left. There's Flipper. And we've got more up ahead of us. This group is going off to the left towards Wildwood. And we've got more up ahead. A huge group, actually. As I'm looking into the distance up ahead of us, got some right in front of the boat here. So we've got a pod near us here. We've got another pod outside the inlet, another half-mile out easily. This group seems to be crossing the inlet. Just went down off the bow here at our 1 o'clock position, going over, crossing the bow over to 11 o'clock here. And we've got more out here at our 9 o'clock off the tip of the other jetty. Looking up towards Wildwood there, that's the island of Wildwood. First up's Diamond Beach, then Wildwood Crest. Wildwood and North Wildwood. Nice pod of dolphins, left side. Now, Cape May County is the northernmost calving grounds, the birthing grounds for bottlenose dolphins. Every year, around 3,000 dolphins swim north to these waters. Last year, around 780 called Cape May their summer home, and out of that, we witnessed right around 90 newborn calves being given birth right here in Cape May. So we've got them all around the front of the boat here, the bow of the boat, between us and the jetty. Just up ahead of us here. Ooh, right next to us, right side up ahead. Getting turned around myself. Keep your eyes peeled for calves, ladies and gentlemen. It is calving season. One just went down. May have been a yearling, not a newborn. So what are you looking for? You're looking for baby dolphins like that. They grow to be 7 to 10 feet in length. They can weigh up to, baby dolphins can be 18 to 24 inches in length. Darker in coloration than the rest of the dolphins. If the calves were born in the last 24 hours, the calves will actually be jet black in coloration. They'll have small folds or creases in their sides called fetal folds, and their dorsal fin will be bent over to one side. And the calves get this way from living within the fetal cavity for the past 12 months. That's right, ladies, it's 12 months for dolphin, not 9, 12. Got a nice group ahead of the boat here. When a female dolphin goes to give birth for the first time, she'll swim back to the matriarchal pod from which she was born. So in most cases, her mother's there, her grandmother's there, in some rare cases, even her great-grandmother. You see, we've been able to prove lineage between the dolphins from generation to generation.
Coming this way.
More fins?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw quite a few outside the inlet too that were.
These guys are much closer.
They're probably coming the same spot here for feeding. Oh, nice jump up ahead of us here. Everybody's taking off. So where we are here, ladies and gentlemen, we're right at the mouth of Cape May Inlet. Now, what we have an outgoing tide here. More dolphins left side next to us, along with this group going crazy up ahead of us. You got an osprey swooping in with them here up ahead. So you have an outgoing tide, an ebb tide. So the waters from the back bays where we started the trip, all that water is emptying out here on this moon tide. So there's a higher flow than usual here. Lots of water coming out from the back bays. So in the back bays, that's where a lot of life in the ocean starts out its life. And then it comes out through an inlet like this. So you have all kinds of nutrients and little fish and bigger fish all coming out on this outgoing tide. Now you'll notice the dolphins, they're not going the same direction as the tide. In fact, they're going the opposite. They are swimming into the tide. They are feeding. They're chasing fish. They have a little sushi for breakfast. Dolphins are expert fishermen. They don't miss a trick. They live and hunt and work all within a cooperative community. They utilize cooperative hunting techniques to gather their fish. They eat 10 to 15 pounds of fish per day per dolphin. And that is what's going on here. You guessed it. I didn't catch which one of you said that in the comments there, but they are definitely here feeding in Cape May Inlet. That's why there are so many of them, all congregated in a small area. Just up ahead of us here. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're out with the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet on a virtual whale and dolphin watch. This is a live video on Facebook. I'm Captain Jeff. You got Captain Stewart at the helm, Captain Scott down in the engine room, keeping the boat running. We're on the 125-foot Atlantis, our 300-passenger high-speed boat. I think this is the 6th installment of our virtual whale and dolphin watches. And we're very happy to have some students aboard today from Myron L. Powell. Very happy to have you aboard. Hoping we have, I know we have a few students from lower township schools tuning in as well. Got this beautiful group of dolphins here right at Cape May Inlet. Got a flat, calm ocean today. Got more dolphins going back behind us now. Every now and then when you see the dolphins on the surface, if you see their eyes, remember dolphins have excellent vision above and below the surface. If you can see their eyes, they're going on a people watch. They're watching us, watching them. I don't know that they know that they're on a Facebook Live video. Couple different groups working out around this fish trap here. It's a pretty common thing that we'll see here, especially this time of year with the outgoing tide. The dolphins will chase the fish in the inlet there, then some of the schools will make it out, and then they'll congregate outside the inlet, and then they'll come crashing back in. We've got further out, I don't know how well you can see in this video, but a mile out behind us here, it looks like we've got a Coast Guard boat doing some maneuvers, and halfway to that we just had some big splashes out there too. So there's literally dolphins all around the inlet here. They're all spread out. Quite a few up in the inlet up ahead of us here. Even though the dolphins have great vision above and below the surface, they navigate using another sense, something we don't possess as humans, and that's echolocation or sonar. What this is, it's actually a sound pulse or vocalization that the dolphins emit from the melon portion of their body. This sound travels through the water in front of them. When it bounces off of stuff like the bottom of the ocean, or another dolphin, or fish, or this boat, the sound is sent back to the dolphin and sent it out. And they pick it up with tiny receptors in their lower jaw or chin. The receptors are actually their teeth. Their teeth are staggered into two distinct rows. They receive the signal back in stereo. This gives dolphins a 3D readout of what's in front of them all the time. Makes them perfectly suited for swimming in murky waters, like we have here on an outgoing tide, or in the mouth of Delaware Bay, or for hunting and feeding at night. Right beside us, right side here, you may have noticed the dolphins show no fear of the boat. Why is that? Well, we're out here pretty often in season. Many of these dolphins are local dolphins, so even though we're not out here as often as usual this year, they know us from years past. They know the sound of the boat, the sound of the engines, the sound of my voice. They know us and we know them. you see them, point them out here in the comments. A few on the bow, across the front of the boat. You got a yearling in with that group there. 1-year-old dolphin. So what are we looking at today, folks? Are these dolphins or porpoise? What's the difference? I know a few folks use the names back and forth like they're the same. Got this other group on our starboard side here at our 3 o'clock. They're not the same. Today we're looking at bottlenose dolphins, not porpoise. See, dolphins have a beak, which sticks out the front of their body, makes them look like they're always smiling, and they have cone-shaped teeth. Porpoise, on the other hand, have a blunt head and spade-shaped teeth. Dolphins in general will be larger than porpoise as well. These bottlenose dolphins, for instance, are about twice the size of your average harbor porpoise. Another way we can tell the difference here, at least in Cape May, you can go by the time of year we see them. We see dolphins, we see porpoise. We see them in different seasons, though. Our dolphins, they show up here around the middle of April. They'll stay with us throughout the spring, summer, and the fall. They leave here around the middle of December, and the dolphins do this because they like the water 50 degrees or warmer. Our water temperature out here today, 52 degrees. Coming down the left side, more dolphins. Now, porpoise, on the other hand, you won't see porpoise this time of year in Cape May, typically. If you came back out with us in January or February, you could see some harbor porpoise. We'd be out here in 38-degree water, and there would not be any dolphins that time of year. Got a bigger pod up ahead of us outside the inlet here. We're still in the flow of that ebb tide, that outgoing tide. Want to make sure, can everybody hear me okay? We're using a new microphone today. Should have probably checked that at the beginning. Anybody hear me? Can you call in and see if they can hear me? Yes, we can. Okay, thanks, guys. Working up to this pod up ahead of us here. They can hear me. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Coming down the left side, you got a group here. We got more up ahead of us. How many dolphins do you think are out here today? Anybody taking guesses? Now look how far we are from Cape May Inlet. We just left that back behind us here. Dolphins coming towards us. We left several groups back in the inlet there. Now we've got these pods around us here. So let's look around. See if you can take some guesses here. Or maybe you already know. Another group up ahead here. Another pod. This group seems to be feeding. They're in a hurry up ahead here. 157, 200. we've got more than 20, I can tell you that. 150. 150 is probably not a poor estimate because you can see them further out in the distance here. We've got a group of probably 20 ahead of us here, starting to surface here. We've got a group back behind us on our left that I'm not looking at currently. It's probably 7 or 8 groups of 20 through here. So we're on our way to 150. How do we know that? They're tough to count, right? They sure don't stay on the surface long enough. They won't all line up for us so we can count them down. They all look the same. Well, they don't actually all look the same. Some of them are individuals. In fact, you got one in this group. Just went down here. We photo identify the dolphins by their dorsal fins. That's the fin on the back of the dolphin. You see it every time they surface. That dorsal fin, believe it or not, it's unique on all of them. Some of them more so than others, like the dolphin that just went down on our starboard side here at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That dolphin, we've been viewing that dolphin for the past 7 years. We actually operated an internship with the Stockton University up in Pomona, New Jersey for photo identifying dolphins. We had an intern come aboard every year, and they would specifically photograph the dolphin's dorsal fins and then take that raw data, crop the photo, and then basically map the dorsal fin, particularly the back edge of the dorsal fin, to determine individuals and count them and catalog them here at Cape May. Why would we want information like that, you wonder, right? Well, from that information, we were actually able to track where the dolphins go in the wintertime. For years, we had thought that the dolphins go down to Florida, and then as more data came out through the years over the last couple decades, we thought that the dolphins would go to the Carolinas. Well, it turns out many of the dolphins that are in our catalog match up with dolphins that are in the North Carolina catalog of bottlenose dolphins. So these same dorsal fins are photographed, breaching up ahead of us here. They're photographed down in the Outer Banks in the wintertime and here in Cape May, New Jersey in the summertime. Beautiful group breaching out of the water, diving down on this group of fish that they must have corralled here. Perfect. Going right up ahead here. Up ahead, right side. Got another group ahead of this. Looks like we've stopped breaching for now. Stopped jumping out of the water. Morning, Captain Bob. I see Captain Bob's tuning in there. I see Whitney's still tuning in. Thanks for putting this together, Whitney. Appreciate the help. Love having out the students. Now, dolphins are members of the order Cetacea. That term cetacean refers to a group of 90 different marine mammals, which are broken up into 2 suborders. It's toothed whales and baleen whales. Bottlenose dolphins, as you may have guessed, they're toothed whales. Grouped in with other toothed whales, that includes other dolphins, porpoise, orcas, pilot whales, belugas. Those are all toothed whales. Larger whales like humpback whales, fin whales, right whales, blue whales, those are baleen whales, which do not have teeth. In lieu of teeth, they have baleen plates in the roof of their mouth. Now, baleen's difficult to describe. That's what a humpback whale has in its mouth, for instance. Humpback whale would be the species of baleen whale we see the most of here in Cape May County. We had one on our last trip out. Asking around for some reports this morning. No reports yet. However, last week we had no reports either. We found one, so I still have high hopes for this morning. the water escapes through the baleen, and then they swallow the fish whole. Wildwood in the background here. On the right side, more dolphins. Beautiful group. Feeling that breeze a little now that we're off the beach. Recreation, that's allowed. It's getting better, folks. It really is. We're getting there. We're getting there together. Beautiful group of dolphins here. We're just off of Diamond Beach here. Yeah, have you ever thought about how a dolphin sleeps? Bet you haven't. Pretty important. Think about a sleeping dolphin in these terms, if you will. Dolphins, they are marine mammals. They've got a surface to breathe air. They breathe air like we do. Well, we can't lay down on the ocean floor and take a nap, right? Neither can the dolphins. Now, researchers originally thought that maybe the dolphins do the same thing that some of the larger whales do. Pilot whales, humpback whales. Humpback whales have been witnessed doing something called logging. Logging is a pretty simple process, like it sounds. They can float up on the surface with their back exposed to the air just enough so that the blowhole in their back, that's how they breathe, can take a breath of fresh air while they take a nap. They are conscious breathers, so they have to be awake. Now, humpback whales can do this logging because they have a lot of blubber. Blubber is a fatty tissue, and we all know fat floats. Just missed them here, right side. I see in the comments here, some of you know where this is going. Dolphins, on the other hand, dolphins have a lot of muscle tissue. Dolphins are more dense than water. If they stopped swimming, they'd sink and drown. Hard to believe for one of nature's best swimmers, and it puzzled scientists for years until finally a Russian scientist had 2 dolphins in captivity. He hooked them up to a brainwave machine and solved the mystery. He discovered dolphins have the ability to isolate either hemisphere of their brain throughout the day. So throughout one part of the day, the dolphins are swimming on the left hemisphere of their brain only. And the right hemisphere is turned off or sleeping. This group's going off to the left up ahead here, back to the inlet. Throughout another part of the day, they're swimming on the right hemisphere of their brain only, while the left hemisphere is turned off or sleeping. And throughout more rigorous activities like feeding and or mating, dolphins are operating on both left and right hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Unlike man, we know when it comes to mating, man will be operating on no hemisphere of the brain at all. Brings up another interesting topic with dolphins. How about their mating behavior? Did you know that dolphins are some of the most sexually active creatures on the planet? Unlike other animals that only mate when the female's in heat, the dolphins will mate 365 days of the year. They mate for fun and recreation. Some male dolphins, believe it or not, they've been known to mate 5 to 7 times a day. Just had a calf go down left side there. And now we know where they all come from. They just swam underneath of us again here. Got some more up ahead of us. Yep, back to the right side here. There's that breeze. next to us. This group might be a little full. Seems like they've slowed down a little here. Not as active as they were when we first arrived. Take a little break between breakfast and lunch here. Now, we've told you lots of information about dolphins in a pretty short period of time here this morning. I don't expect you to remember everything about the dolphins. If you can remember one fact about dolphins, let's remember this. Well, where are we? At home, right? That's where you all are. You're supposed to be. But where are the dolphins? They're in the same place. They're in their home. They're out here. They're in the wild. They are free. Dolphins like this in the wild, they can live 45 to 50 years out here. Now, the dolphins you see out in captivity, like in a marine mammal park show, they're not so lucky. Typically, for every one dolphin you see out in captivity, there have been 3 dolphins captured. The first 2 die in the first 90 days of capture. The last one, lucky dolphin, you get to see in a show, only lives to the ripe old age of around 5, and that's it. So what are we getting at? Doesn't matter whether you're on this boat or somebody else's. What really matters, the well-being of the dolphins. This is where they belong, living out their lives the way the Creator intended them to live, not swimming around a little concrete tank in endless circles, where they go blind from swimming in chlorinated water, and then they die off from some other eye-related disease. No way, gang. The dolphins, they belong right out here. And this is where they will be, waiting for all of us to get back out here to see them. Dolphins don't do well in captivity. It's a proven fact. Anybody aboard ever heard of a TV series from the 50s and 60s called Flipper? Probably not in some of our crowd this morning, but that's okay. How many dolphins do you think starred as Flipper? How about 5? Now, Flipper's trainer was a man by the name of Richard O'Barry. Richard O'Barry went from being the foremost dolphin trainer in the nation to becoming the most outspoken advocate of freedom for all dolphins all over the world. He's still very active today. If you want to know what you can do to help out dolphins all over the world that are still held captive, check out his website, dolphinproject.com. Morning, Pat. Happy to see you tuning in there. I see Mrs. Stewart's tuning in as well. Saw Leanne Stewart's tuning in. Hi, Mrs. Stewart. Happy to have you guys aboard. I've said it pretty often throughout this quarantine period here, folks. Very happy to have technology like this to be able to give this to you. I think we all need a little break every now and then. I know I do. And while I can't get you out here physically, I can get you out here virtually. It's what we can do, and we have the technology to do it, so. We've been making lots of improvements on the boat this year in preparation for getting you back out here. Lots of cleaning, lots of sanitizing, and some new tricks up our sleeve for keeping everybody safe and healthy aboard our boats when we're allowed to. Got more dolphins off to our left coming this way. I think Captain Stewart's going to wrap it up on this group. I just popped next to us. One more time, a shout out to Myron L. Powell for tuning in here today. Really happy to have you guys aboard. I'd love to be able to take you out on a real field trip. This is what we have, so happy to be able to do that for you today. I've seen a couple other folks tuning in from around the states here, from Boca Raton, Florida, to Kentucky, to Iowa. Happy to have you all aboard as well. We are here in Cape May, New Jersey, out on a virtual whale and dolphin watch with the Cape May Whale Watcher Fleet. We're aboard the 125-foot Atlantis. This is Captain Stewart's boat. Captain Stewart at the helm here. This is what he's able to do in this period of time with the quarantine here, is be able to get us out for these virtual trips. It's the sixth one we've been out on. We're very thankful that we can do this. Happy he's letting us do it. Oh! Breaching again. All right. Beautiful. I don't know, they might know you're tuning in, folks. Right beside us, left side. Got some folks from PA tuning in here as well. Happy to have you aboard. Hi, Fran. Hi, Bill. Nice to have you aboard. Captain Stewart says we're going to head on down towards Cape May Point, see what else we can see. We've been doing these virtual trips aboard our 41-foot Viking, the Water Lily. We're out aboard today on the 125-foot Atlantis on an engine test here today. Going to have some windage going into the wind here. As we pull away from this pod of dolphins, it's always good luck. Wave goodbye to Flipper, even if you're at home, folks. They'll be here waiting for you when we get you back out here. We're going to head down towards Cape May, show you some of the city of Cape May. There's still no whale reports yet here on this trip, but we are searching. We've had a lot of life around. We've had up to 3 humpback whales in Delaware Bay, so if you stand by with us and keep tuning in, we have the opportunity to find one. So we'll see how that goes. Meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy the cruise. More dolphins coming down the left side. Working our way from Diamond Beach out here on the right. And you got the island of Wildwood back behind us, right side. We are cruising. I got a few surfing back behind us. Sometimes the dolphins pop up and do some body surfing. They're better at it than you or I. Might be more interested in feeding today. Seeing the hashtag Myron Powell Strong popping up here today. Myron L. Powell Strong. We've been participating in our own challenge down here in Cape May. We've got the Cape May Strong hashtag going. And I know Jersey Strong has come back throughout this period here. Looks like everybody's dropping back in the wake. We are leaving Wildwood in our wake, back behind the right side here. Coming up on Cape May Inlet, working our way across the inlet into Cape May. folks.
Bunch of splashing. Big group out here.
Got a beautiful day here, Cape May. A little bit of westerly wind coming out of the bay up ahead of us. Sure, on our right here, this first section of beach, this is known as Poverty Beach. It was named Poverty Beach during Victorian times with the class system still in effect. The hired help working in the hotels of downtown Cape May, they were not permitted to bathe with the guests, so they were relegated to this rather obscure northern secondary beachfront, thus the name Poverty Beach. And we're coming up on the city of Cape May. Cape May is a very historic city, dating back to the whaling days and beyond. It originally was a 2-day journey down to Cape May from the then capital city of Philadelphia. The first day down as far as May's Landing, the second day down to Cape May by stagecoach. Today, the entire city of Cape May is a National Historic Landmark for its unique collection of Victorian homes and hotels. Got another pot of dolphins coming out in here up ahead, working their way to the inlet. Must be staying down feeding here. United States Coast Guard. Working our way down the beach here, take you for a little walk around the Atlantis. Our upper deck. Quite a bit of outdoor seating on the upper deck, as well as indoor seating in our VIP lounge. Watching trips, the Atlantis is complete with our third deck doing for our naturalist or captain for spotting whales and dolphins. Got a beautiful day here today. Nice and smooth out the aft view here from the upper deck on board Atlantis. Hi Betty, my name's Captain Jeff Stewart, Jr. I am narrating the cruise today. I'm your quarantine captain. This is our 6th installment of our virtual whale and dolphin watch, Cape May Whale Watcher Fleet. Next section of Cape May, up on our right, this is known as East Cape May. Back in the year 1903, a group of investors from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they came down here to Cape May and purchased all the land on our right for the small sum of $200,000 in an attempt to build an all-new Cape May and rejuvenate the city of Cape May. In the end, fewer than 100 homes were built. These large seaside cottages to our right, they stand as a lasting testimony to their efforts. Like a good day to be at the beach. See one or two people walking around. Coming into view, if you look closely, you'll see a white building with 4 white oversized pillars. They've got the black and white striped awnings in currently, but with the 4 white oversized pillars, that's the Peter Shields Inn. It's one of the most pretentious homes built along the beachfront here in Cape May. It was actually built in 1907 for the president of the East Cape May Development Corporation. It was the last home they built before they went bankrupt. Now, you know, as popular as Cape May is today, and it was during Victorian times, then being known as the Queen of the Seaside Summer Resorts, it fell into quite a bit of a funk, if you will, around the turn of the century, 1900. At that time, Cape May was just a town of old homes. Certainly no reason for a tourist to come down here and visit. And it took a natural catastrophe to snap Cape May out of its doldrums, that being the Great Nor'easter of 1962. That storm destroyed the seawall protecting the town, flooded the town for 3 days, destroyed several of the old Victorian homes. It's at this time that a lot of land developers came into the area. They wanted to tear down the Victorian homes and put up new modern structures and hotels. It was at this point that a grassroots movement took hold in Cape May, known as MAC. MAC's an acronym for the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts and Humanities, now known as Cape May MAC. They fought to preserve the history of Cape May. Their first battle was fought over the Emlyn Physic Estate, which now serves as their headquarters and museum in downtown Cape May. MAC is mostly responsible for the Victorian Cape May we all get to enjoy today. Now, this next group of homes coming up on our right here for the next several city blocks, these are all classic examples of Victorian architecture at its finest. All of these homes, they were built between the 1860s and the 1870s, the height of the Victorian period, and they are capped off by the white building with the red roof, the red awning, and the American flag up top. This is the Sea Mist Inn, arguably one of the most photographed homes on the Cape May beachfront. Its appearance was actually designed to mimic the steamboats of the day, paddle wheelers. Many of the homes that you see along the beachfront here in Cape May, they have upper walkways on them, you may notice. These are called widows' walks. Many of these homes were built during a time when the richest merchants here in town were sea captains. And these sea captains and sailors would go to sea, and their wives would be at home. Their wives would go out on these walks, searching for their husbands to return from the sea. When they did not return, that's how they earned the name, Widows' Walks. Large white building on the right with the large window behind it, the green roof. That's our convention hall here in Cape May. It's the third convention hall to be built here. The first two, they were lost to the sea. Working our way down Cape May beachfront, heading for Delaware Bay. I've seen a few questions come across, none specific lately, but when do we see whales? Well, we're working towards where we had our last humpback whale here, ladies and gentlemen. This time of year, there's an abundance of bait fish, a fish called menhaden or bunker. It's a small oily fish around 3 to 9 inches in length. It's a base fish. Lots of things in the ocean eat bunker. It may be what the dolphins were chasing back there at the inlet, though they are at the top of the food chain. They chase all kinds of small fish, everything from flounder to small striped bass, weak fish, mackerel, herring. In any case, these bunker are in abundance in the bay right now. In fact, commercial bunker fishing is due to get underway pretty soon here. They are commercially fished for here out of Cape May. The bunker, that's what the whales eat here in Cape May. Lots and lots of bunker, 2,000 pounds of fish every day, and lots of it's in the bay, so that's where the whales are. Now coming up right side here, the yellow hotel with white pillars and a gray roof. That's Congress Hall. It's the third Congress Hall to be built here. The first two, they were lost to fires. The second in the Great November Fire of 1878, that same fire destroyed over 30 acres of downtown Cape May. The third and present-day Congress Hall was constructed in 1879. It's L-shaped for maximum ocean views. It features a wraparound porch and white pillars, both trademarks of the Victorian hotels of its day. In 1882, Congress Hall was the site of 7 evening concerts held by John Philip Sousa, the Marine Band. It is said that on opening nights, over 3,000 people gathered on the front lawn of Congress Hall to hear his rendition of the Congress Hall March, a piece he had composed just for the event. Now, I had brought that point up on our last cruise, and one of our patrons thought it well enough to look up the Congress Hall March, and that is posted over in the customer section of comments on the page. If you want to hear the Congress Hall March by John Philip Sousa, it's on there. I believe you can find it on YouTube also. Down the beachfront here. Again, 1 or 2 people out for a walk. Plenty of social distancing going on here. When are the people going to be allowed back on the boat? Our date right now we are shooting for is May 15th. Now, that's not to say that they won't move the goalposts on us again here, ladies and gentlemen, but May 15th is what we're shooting for. We are making any necessary changes that we have to. We are awaiting guidance from the CDC. We're awaiting guidance from our governor. We have guidance from our local health department already. Working our way down to an area that you all know as the Cove. It's a great spot for watching the sunsets in the summertime. We know it as South Cape May. Believe it or not, right now you're sailing over top of the remains of an old Victorian village known as South Cape May. That's right, the streets and the foundations of some of the old homes are underneath of us, buried in the sand from this Victorian era town. This area was originally marketed to the African American community. One land developer attempting to attract attention to this area put up a wooden and tin-sided elephant here. It's actually looked a lot like Lucy up in Margate. However, this was called the Light of Asia. It was put up in 1885, but it was torn down only 15 years later. See Sean tuning in there. Nice to have you aboard, Sean. I believe the boardwalk in Cape May is still currently closed up on the promenade there, but don't quote me, I'm not sure. Throughout this time period, I haven't had a whole lot of time to get out and check out the different things. I have been working to get the boats ready for you folks when you can come out with us. Maybe somebody else who's tuning in here can fill you in on whether the promenade is open in Cape May. See a couple people walking the beach on the cove here. Got a beautiful morning out here today. Thank you, Whitney. See, Whitney's on it. The promenade is open for walking and exercise just like the beach. There you go. Working our way down the cove here towards Delaware Bay, which is up ahead of us, and Cape May Lighthouse coming up. Like anything, folks, I know I don't have to say it, but because everybody else is saying it. When they do open these things, keep the social distancing going on. Keep it nice and safe and healthy for everybody. It'll just keep getting better here. Coming up on our right, large concrete structure built up on the beach. That's a World War II gun emplacement and bunker. This originally housed two 155mm Seacoast artillery guns, and they had a 12-mile range. It's actually part of a much larger military installation that's located over in Cape Henlopen State Park called Fort Miles. If you're ever over in Delaware, check out Fort Miles. It's cool. It makes this look tiny. Now, what's more important than what it is, how about when and where it was built? It was built back in 1942, 900 feet back from the nearest water's edge and underground. So there is sand around it now, though it was never meant to be exposed like that. And all the sand that's around it has been pumped in there basically during my lifetime here over the last 20 years. They keep putting sand around it and it keeps washing away and so on. Actually, when I was younger, maybe around 8 or 10 years old, I remember you could fish out on that and there was water all around it. My grandfather took me out there. And you're now at Cape May Point, the southernmost tip of the state of New Jersey. Any further south, you will get wet. 10 miles out to our left, Lewis, Delaware. On our right, I think we've got more dolphins. That's why Captain Stewart slowed down here. But on our right, you can see the famous Cape May Lighthouse. That's the third lighthouse to be built here. First two, they were lost to the sea. Third and present day lighthouse was constructed in the year 1859. It is 157.5 feet tall, 199 steps up to the top, where it houses a 350,000 candle power light visible at sea 19 miles on a clear night. MAC, Cape May MAC, co-sponsors of our cruises. They've received over $2 million in grant money throughout the years to restore the lighthouse to its original sandstone color through massive renovations to the lantern section and the oil house. Most recently, it's received another fresh coat of paint, I believe last year or the year before. She's looking beautiful. And if you ever have a chance, you want to take the climb up to the top. It's a small donation to MAC. It was $8 last year. I don't know if that's changed. It's a great little museum. As you climb the top, there's different stations along the way talking about the lighthouse and its history. And you get a great panoramic view of Cape May Point and the surrounding waters. Highly recommend it. To the left of that, a white building with a red roof. This is St. Mary's by the Sea. It's now a Sisters Summer Retreat, home to the Sisters of St. Joseph. However, it was built as the Shoreham Hotel back in the year 1890 by John Wanamaker. Then sold to the Sisters in 1909 for the small sum of $9,000. You got to hand it to them. They know their real estate. It's one of the few places on the East Coast where you can see the sun rise over the Atlantic Ocean and set over the Delaware Bay. Let's go see what Captain Stewart's looking at here. He could just be checking out the lighthouse. It's his prerogative. It's his boat.
I'm looking for a whale right now. There were 3 out in the bay, and I'm trying to see if I can find it. But I thank you for the report.
Yeah, okay. Stand by 60 and 79.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We good?
Yeah. Seen the lighthouse. Do you have any dolphins?
I have a few right here.
Just a few in the rips.
Yeah.
This area that we're passing through now, this is known as the rips. This is where the Delaware Bay meets the Atlantic Ocean. The rips are caused by hills of sand or shoals on the ocean floor beneath us. These shoals cause the moving water to shoot up vertically towards the surface, causing lines and waves to appear. We're working our way into the bay here. The bay is a little choppier. Remember to hold on.
Ferry coming out of Delaware, but I can't raise them. I tried several times.
It's okay. Take a little peek like we did last time. We find them, we find them. A lot of birds working on this rip up ahead of us here.
Yeah, there's a boat up here.
Yeah, man. Could be right there. One thing, ladies and gentlemen, with looking for whales in the bay, there's less boats out than usual. So normally this time of year we've got hundreds of boats out for drumfish. I know there's a few private boats that have been going, but still we're just not getting the normal reports that we would this time of year. And that's how the whole spring has been. We've had reports consistently from the Cape May Lewis Ferry since March of humpback whale activity in the mouth of the bay. So they've been around. We've had some questions on some of the trips here about how long do the whales hang out? You know, is it just a spring and fall thing, or is it just this time of year? What's the best time of year to go is another popular question. The whales here, ladies and gentlemen, they show up in March. They stay here throughout the season. They're here in March. They're here now, here in May. They'll be here in June, July, August, and they'll be here in the fall of the year. We enjoy a very long season, all the way up to December with the whales. So, something to be clarified with humpback whales. Throughout the last, well, our 30-year existence here, humpback whales have been increasing in numbers, and their numbers have been increasing in the mid-Atlantic states. We're in the mid-Atlantic states, so there are more whales here now than there were when we started the business. And their time of year, their feeding time, because this is the feeding grounds for humpback whales, is now. Our water temperature, it's up here in the bay, 56 degrees. Got you in the pilot house here with Captain Stewart. We're coming around Cape May Point. Leaving the lighthouse behind us here. Community and shore on the right. This is known as the borough of Cape May Point. Wasn't always this way. It was actually founded by Philadelphia's very own department store magnate John Wanamaker as a Presbyterian religious retreat known as the borough of Seagrove. Remained the borough of Seagrove for only 5 years, then was changed over to the more popular borough of Cape May Point. Cormorant taking off, right side. And we're coming up on everybody's favorite, Sunset Beach. Tall concrete cylindrical tower on the right side here, back behind the dunes. It's a World War II fire control tower. It was used during World War II primarily for spotting German U-boats, and there were quite a few to be seen. Also on our right, up ahead, this is Sunset Beach. Every evening in season here, we have a sunset flag lowering ceremony, a different flag every evening for a different fallen veteran. Sunset Beach is also an excellent spot to pick up Cape May diamonds. Cape May diamonds are a smallish stone which can be heat treated, polished, and made up into costume jewelry. I've caught myself the last couple times here, folks, saying if you look closely, you'll have a few people bending over and picking them up. There have been no patrons out on the beach. We got a few today. And, of course, last but not least, right side, we've got the famous wreck of the concrete ship, the Atlantis. The Atlantis was 210 feet in length, commissioned back in the year June 1919. She was part of an experimental project during World War I to build ships out of concrete instead of steel due to a shortage of steel. She made several transatlantic crossings as a cargo ship. After being decommissioned, she was being brought here to be used as part of a ferry breakwater system. During a storm, she broke loose from her tow line. She ran aground there, cracked in half. She's been there ever since, once again constructed entirely of concrete, reinforced with steel rods. 13 ships built during World War I. I believe it was 42 built during World War II out of concrete. Certainly worth a Google search. And off to our right, that last section of beach, that's known as Higby's Beach. Believe it or not, this used to be our local clothing optional beach. That's right, this was a nude beach, and it was that way for about 85 years. Right up until around the mid-1990s there. Governor Christine Todd Whitman signed a bill telling everybody keep your clothes on when you go to Higby's Beach. It's all part of the Higby Beach Wildlife Management Area, a 1,000-acre wildlife management area. It's much how the entire coastline of New Jersey once looked.
Show where we're going here with our GPS.
Sure. Let's see if I can get you in frame here. There we go. So this is where we are. We like being the center of our universe. We're working our way out into Delaware Bay here.
That's us.
That's our course change there.
Now, let's show you. Sorry about that arm, guys.
That's okay. Hit the X again. There you go.
East Coast of the United States, Cape May, Delaware. Just keep going. Entire East Coast. GPS. Now, right back to where we were. Going out to a little shoal out here that we were watching the other day. We had a humpback whale there. There's no reason to expect him to be there sitting waiting for us. But he could be. We don't know. So we're going to take a look.
As we work our way off the beach here, ladies and gentlemen, you want to change your emphasis of what we're looking for from something small like a dolphin to something a lot larger. Now, we're not just looking for a humpback whale floating on the surface waiting for us to come along and find them. It's pretty rare they do that. So what are you looking for? You're looking for that same stereotypical spout of the whale, the old "arr she blows." Same type of event. Now, humpback whale can put up a spout 8 to 12 feet tall. Fin whales, they're the second largest in the world. We also do locate them here off of Cape May. They can put up a spout 20 feet high. It's a vertical column of steam shooting straight into the air. It's when the whale surfaces. First thing they're going to do, they exhale through the blowhole in their back. That's how they breathe. They don't have a nose. They don't breathe through their mouth. They breathe through their blowhole. That exhale, when they do exhale, is traveling at around 600 miles per hour. It's extremely noticeable. It's like a sneeze from a 50-foot long animal. Now, normally, when there's 100 or 200 of you aboard the boat, I tell you all to keep your eyes peeled. Now, we can only cover so many angles here. Captain Stewart, myself. We're going to do our best. We've got great sight lines here. This is the view from the pilot house, for those of you who have been asking. This is what we see as we move through the ocean. Captain Stewart's at the helm, steering us towards our last known whale sighting, and we're looking. We've got no reports to go on. We haven't been able to raise anybody on the VHF with any good information today. So we are taking an educated guess.
Why would the whales be here where we saw them the other day?
I talked about that, but we'll talk about it again. So again, we're coming out here into the mouth of Delaware Bay, and we are in search of up to 3 humpback whales that have been out here. We found one last week when we were out. We haven't been out since, but we continue to get some reports back and forth from the Cape May Lewis ferries. Now, we haven't been able to raise them today. So why would humpback whales hang out in Delaware Bay? Well, humpback whales, they can grow to be 25 to up to 50 feet in length. They can weigh up to 35 tons or 70,000 pounds. They're big boys with big appetites. They can eat up to 2,000 pounds of fish every day. Around here in the mid-Atlantic states, the whales eat bunker. It's the primary staple of their diet, basically from Virginia up through New York. They do eat other small fish. However, the bunker is the big thing that they're going after, especially when they're near shore like this, and that's what's here in Delaware Bay. Millions and millions of pounds of bunker. And that's what brings the whales here. That's what keeps the whales here. That's what brings the dolphins here. It brings the striped bass. It brings bluefish. It brings all kinds of life. It's a very, very important little fish. Gets commercially fished for to be used for fertilizer and fish pills and other things, all things that can be done through other means. It's much, much more valuable when left in the ecosystem, an extremely vital, important part to the food web out here. It's extremely complicated. what keeps it all going out here, folks, but basically everything that's in the ocean serves a purpose. Bunker serves a purpose as food. It actually serves another purpose as a filter feeder. It takes a lot of things out of the ocean that keep the water clean and purifies the ocean. Like oysters do on the bottom of the ocean, Bunker or Menhaden do it in the mid-water column. So it all works together to make for a cleaner bay and a cleaner ocean. Very important. A very important little fish. Another thing worth a Google search. Look up Menhaden or Bunker. Communicating with, we got a ferry boat coming out of Delaware here. Now we got a report. May have been some a splash over in Delaware.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stand by at 13, 16, 65.
Roger that. Are you doing a virtual tour?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So if we find something, we'll certainly give you a shout.
All right, Cap, sounds good. Well, enjoy the sunshine.
If you come to Cape May, how long is the whale watching trip? Our whale watch trip in general is a 3-hour trip. It usually departs every day at 1 p.m. My best to keep my eyes open here, folks. It's tough trying to look through the do the video and look around though. I'm trying not to drop you guys here, honestly. We see sharks often. Yes, we do. I wouldn't say it's quite as often as some of the other species that we see, like sea turtles, or I mean, we see different types of birds on every trip. We see dolphins just about every trip. We see whales 60 to 70% of the time. But we do see sharks. We've seen dusky sharks. We've seen thrasher sharks. We have had a couple different species of hammerhead shark that we've seen when we're offshore a little bit. So, yes, there are sharks. We are operating in salt water. There's going to be sharks. They just don't come to the surface because they're not breathing air like the dolphins.
Yes, ma'am. No, I did not. Where were you?
Have I ever seen a white dolphin? I have seen an albino dolphin before, actually. Same species, bottlenose dolphin, but it was white. So it is a hereditary thing. Genetic. It does happen. Thanks, Greg. No whales, no audience. Well, we're out here looking.
We're looking. Now, there you go. All right.
Are we allowed to do live tours yet? No, not yet. We're shooting for May 15th as our start date with the Cape May Whale Watcher fleet.
We certainly have enough space on both boats to socially distance.
We are the largest boats in the state of New Jersey that do any kind of tours, for that matter. We have the most whale viewing rail space of any tour company between the two boats. Our normal capacity between the two boats is 700 passengers. So even if we were to take our capacity and take it down to 50%, we'd still have room for 350 passengers. So we have tons and tons of space to get you all spaced out along the rails. And that's what we have been working on here, folks. Can't hear me very well because I had to unplug the microphone because the phone's dying. No whales yet. We're still searching. Our cost per trip?
To the public?
45 for the 3-hour whale and dolphin watch. Yes.
Our cost to run this trip for you guys? Probably $500-600, something like that.
Cost of fuel's down right now. It's one advantage we have to be able to do this for you folks. We had to run this engine test aboard the Atlantis anyway. She's a special boat. We're out here cruising along at a pretty easy speed right now. We're making what? 16 knots
Just
at
under
14
16 knots, starting 1400 RPM.
1400 RPMs.
Each engine burning.
Where are we at? 18 gallons per hour per engine. So just under 20 times 4, around 80 gallons an hour right now. Are we doing live tours yet? No, we are not. That's why we're out on a virtual tour. May 15th is our start date that we're shooting for. Waiting for guidance from the CDC and our governor, state of New Jersey here. $45 per passenger. Yes, Greg. All right, gang, we're still searching here. We're out on location. We're going to look around. Phone's still dying.
Maybe your helmet's not on.
Again, I'm Captain Jeff. I've been your quarantine captain for this morning's virtual whale and dolphin watch. Here with Captain Stewart. We're going to be signing off for a little bit here so we can look around. Now, we did this last trip and we were fortunate enough. We found a humpback whale out here in the bay. And if we do find something, we're going to tune back in. In the meantime,